Today we're going to learn about narrator. As you watch the video, use the worksheet to take notes and practice what you learn. So, what is a narrator? A narrator is the person who tells the story. Remember, the narrator is different from the author. Author, narrator, and character. These three can seem similar. Let's talk about how they're different. The author writes the story. The narrator tells the story. And the character acts out the story. The author creates the narrator, and the author creates the characters. So, an author writes the story, an author creates the narrator to tell the story, and an author creates characters to act out the story. Author and narrator. As we said, the author is not the same as the narrator. Author and narrator. Let's look at an example. This is a famous book called Roscoe Riley Rules: Never Glue Your Friends to Chairs. The author is a lady named Catherine Applegate. Here she is. She wrote the book. The narrator is a boy named Roscoe Riley. He is also a character in the story. So, the author Catherine Applegate created the narrator Roscoe Riley to tell us the story. Let's read some words from the story. This will help you understand the difference between the author and the narrator.
Well, it all started this morning. I was helping my mom pack my lunch. Banana, I asked her, with no icky brown spots on it. Mom looked in my lunchbox. Check, she said.
We just listened as the narrator Roscoe Riley tells the story. He says these words to readers. And the author, Catherine Applegate, wrote these words. She created the character Roscoe Riley to tell us the story. Narrator and character. Sometimes the narrator is also a character. So, how do we know if the narrator is also a character or not? Remember that all narrators tell about the action. Some narrators do not participate in the action. For example, this narrator is watching the action. She's watching the people talk, she's watching the people sit together, but she isn't talking with them, and she isn't sitting with them. She does not participate in the action. She is just a narrator, not a character. Some narrators do participate in the action. See, the people are talking and sitting. She's with them. She's listening. In this case, she's a narrator and a character. Narrators and action. A narrator who participates in the action talks to characters and interacts with other characters. What does interacts with? That means the narrator does things with the characters. For example, sits with them, walks with them, laughs with them, eats with them, talks with them, or studies with them. Let's look at an example of narrator and action. Remember the words we read earlier by Roscoe Riley? Let's review the same words and see if we can answer these two questions. Does Roscoe participate in the action of the story? And is Roscoe only the narrator, or is he also a character?
Well, it all started this morning. I was helping my mom pack my lunch. Banana, I asked her, with no icky brown spots on it. Mom looked in my lunchbox. Check, she said.
So what do you think? Does Roscoe participate in the action of the story, or does he just watch and tell the action? The answer is yes. Roscoe participates in the action of the story. How do we know that? Well, we know that because in this part that we read, Roscoe talks to his mom. He also interacts with his mom by packing lunch with her. When the narrator talks to a character and interacts with a character, that means the narrator is participating in the action of the story. So let's look at question 2. Is Roscoe only the narrator, or is he also a character? What do you think? Roscoe participates in the action, so he is also a character of the story. Now let's practice. You'll answer questions about story narrators, and we'll check your answers at the end. Practice number 1. These words come from the famous story Twilight by author Stephenie Meyer. The narrator is this teenage girl. I'll read her words. My mother drove me to the airport with the windows rolled down. It was 75 degrees in Phoenix, the sky a perfect cloudless blue. Bella, my mom said to me, the last of 1,000 times before I got on the plane, you don't have to do this. We'll answer 3 questions about the selection. Question 1. What is the narrator's name? Question 2. Does this narrator participate in the action of the story? And question 3. How do we know that? Pause the video while you work, and we'll check the answers in a moment. Practice number 2. In my opinion, these practice questions are a little more difficult than the ones from practice number 1. See if you agree. These words are taken from the story Harry Potter by author J.K. Rowling. I'll read the story. Harry Potter was a wizard fresh from his first year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And if the Dursleys were unhappy to have him back for the holidays, it was nothing to how Harry felt. He missed Hogwarts so much that it was like having a constant stomachache. Question number 1. What is the narrator's name? Question 2. Does the narrator participate in the action of the story? Or does the narrator only tell the action? Number 3. How do we know that? Pause the video while you think about the answers. We'll check them in a moment. Practice number 3. We'll ask the same questions about this story. These words come from Diary of a Wimpy Kid by author Jeff Kinney.
There was another announcement on the loudspeaker today, and to be honest with you, I kind of figured this one was coming. Greg Heffley, please report to Mr. Winsky's office. I knew it was just a matter of time before I got busted for what happened last week. When I got to Mr. Winsky's office, he was really mad.
So, number 1, what is the narrator's name? Number 2, does the narrator participate in the action of the story? And number 3, how do we know? Pause the video while you work. We'll check the answers in a moment. Practice number 4. This time, we'll answer the same 3 questions about... Practice number 4. This time, we'll answer the same 3 questions about the story The Night at Dawn from the Magic Treehouse series by author Mary Pope Osborne. I'll read the story. Jack pushed his glasses into place. Who was going to believe any of this? Not his mom, or his dad, or his 3rd grade teacher, Ms. Watkins. Only his 7-year-old sister Annie. She'd gone with him to the time of the dinosaurs. Question 1. What is the narrator's name? Question 2. Does the narrator participate in the action of the story? And question 3. How do we know? Pause the video while you work, and we'll check answers after this. Now let's check our answers. Practice number 1 answers. Number 1. What is the narrator's name? Her name is Bella. How do we know this? We know this because as the narrator speaks, she says, "Bella, my mom said to me." The narrator is talking about her mom and herself, so we know her name is Bella. Number 2, does this narrator participate in the action of the story? Or does she just tell it? Yes, this narrator participates in the action of the story. So how do we know that? We know this because first, the narrator talks to another character, her mother. We clearly see this in the words, "Bella, my mom said to me." These words show us that the narrator is having a conversation with the mother. Also, this narrator interacts with a character when she rides in the car with her mother. We see this in the first sentence. "My mother drove me to the airport with the windows rolled down." When a narrator talks to and interacts with a character, that means the narrator is part of the action. Practice number 2 answers. Number 1, what is the narrator's name? In this case, we don't know the narrator's name. The narrator talks about the characters Harry Potter and the Dursley family, but the narrator never tells his or her own name. Number 2, does the narrator participate in the action of the story? No, this narrator does not participate. This narrator only tells us about the action. How do we know that the narrator doesn't participate? First, the narrator does not talk to Harry Potter or the Dursleys. Next, the narrator does not interact with Harry Potter or the Dursleys. This narrator only talks about Harry Potter and the Dursleys. If a narrator doesn't talk to or interact with other characters, the narrator does not participate in the action, but only tells about the action of the story. Practice number 3 answers. Number 1, what is the narrator's name? This narrator's name is Greg Heffley. We know that because of the announcement he heard on the loudspeaker at school, which said, "Greg Heffley, please report to Mr. Winsky's office." Number 2, does the narrator participate in the action of the story? Yes. Number 3, how do we know that? We know this because the narrator interacts with another character, Mr. Winsky. How does the narrator interact? Well, first, the narrator goes to Mr. Winsky's office. Also, Mr. Winsky is angry at the narrator. We know these 2 facts from this sentence. When I got to Mr. Winsky's office, he was really mad. This shows us that the narrator is interacting with another character and therefore participating in the action of the story. Practice number 4 answers. Number 1, what is the narrator's name? In this case, we don't know. We learned the name of several characters, including Jack, Jack's mom, his dad, his teacher Miss Watkins, and his sister Annie. The narrator tells us about all of these characters, but the narrator never tells us his or her own name, so we don't know the narrator's name. Number 2, does the narrator participate in the action of the story? No, this narrator does not participate. This narrator only watches the action and tells. How do we know that the narrator doesn't participate? Well, first, the narrator does not talk to Jack or the other characters. The narrator only talks about these characters. Also, the narrator does not interact with Jack or the other characters. The narrator doesn't sit with them, talk to them, play with them, eat with them, or interact in other ways. Narrator, the end. Our narrator lesson for today is complete. I hope this video helped you understand what a narrator is, the difference between author and narrator, and when a narrator participates in the action of the story. Thank you for watching.